evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with these young, dynamic people out there, the West Garfield Park Youth Council. Of course, they've given an old head like myself an opportunity to come on and do a little work with them for the day. One of our young people are working, and the other one is coming from the hospital. We got two of them in there, three of them actually in there now. But we had a guest that we was trying to get on for some time now, and we've been working really feverishly with a group of dynamic professionals over at the Loretta Hospital. And I asked the young people if it was okay if I can really interview Melinda. I mean, I've been trying to get her. She was actively involved, and she is actively involved in so many things at the Loretta Hospital, at our men's health event, and so many other things. But Melinda is a wealth of information that if you listen closely and pay attention to what she's saying, you would be empowered tonight on advanced directives, on wills, trust, power of attorneys. What should we do in order to protect ourselves from other issues and concerns of estate taxes and all that other kind of stuff. But we're going to talk specifically tonight. We're going to talk about wills and living wills, regular wills, all that kind of stuff, because we want our young people to be empowered. We want them to understand that if you're prepared, if you plan, if you do the right things ahead of the game, you won't have to worry about it behind it. So we're understanding that we're going to teach our folks, teach you all tonight, advanced directives. So we're going to use that term tonight to talk about what can we do to empower each other in legalese, and what can we do in relationship to wills and trusts and all of that kind of stuff. We're not going to talk particularly about the trust tonight, but I think we might go estate something, estate planning. We might be able to talk about that. And we might, I think you said you wouldn't mind talking to us about the wills and what are the wills.
Of the differences.
The differences in wills. And I think you also opened up the door to talk to us, or shared that you would share with us some different things about what can happen if people don't have advanced directives, like fighting with family members, all right, over somebody else's stuff.
You're right.
All right?
Absolutely, yes.
You know, and we don't want that, because it's so often, you know, these things happen in life, so we're just telling you to be prepared. You know, plan up for those things to happen. But anyway, let's get into the show. Again, this show is the West Garfield Park Youth Council. Thank the young folks for giving me an opportunity to get on and do this show with the young, with Melinda, and watch these young people. But for the next 12 weeks, 13 weeks, the young people will be coming to you each week with various topics and individuals that they're going to be empowering you. Of course, the West Garfield Park is located on the west side of Chicago. It's a subsidiary of the Fathers Who Care Social Service Agency, and these young people will be doing this show for the next 12 weeks, from 7 o'clock to 7:30 on channel 21. And the number is right there on your screen, 312-738-1060. I love the West Garfield Park Youth Council. I love young people who are really making a difference. I think we need to continuously encourage and promote these young folks and encourage them to be the best that they can be. But every now and then, if you got some opportunities out there where they can do some volunteer hours, you know, get the service learning hours and things of that nature. If you got those things, please call us up at Fathers Who Care at 773-287-5821 and give us an opportunity to send them young folks over there so they can get some additional experience doing different things and really be exposed. But with that being said, sit back, relax, and for the next few minutes, let's talk about being physically, mentally prepared via advanced directives, and we want to talk about particularly who should or why should we have a will. So we're going to start off with just inquiring about Melinda. Melinda, we know that you are the chief legal officer for the Loretta Hospital. Is that correct?
Yes.
And we want to talk about that, about your position. That means you're an attorney.
Yes.
All right.
I'm a healthcare attorney.
A healthcare attorney, all right? Probably with a JD.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. And so we want to talk to you specifically today about some of the healthcare concerns and what people should know, particularly in that field. But we want to specifically kind of get a little closer to you. Who is Melinda? Tell us, who are you? And what is your purpose? What motivates you? What moves you? You got a nice smile, but what keeps that smile on your face?
I knew you were going to ask me that question.
There you have it.
No, people don't ask me that question every day, so
Okay.
I have to think about that kind of
Okay,
carefully.
okay.
But I'm a mother.
Okay.
I have a daughter who has a son, so I have a 2-year-old grandson.
And
I
see-
am a
see-
business owner. I own a law firm with a partner. We're healthcare attorneys. And I work at Loretto Hospital, at the Loretto Hospital, as the general counsel of the hospital, providing legal advice for the staff and for the board, whoever needs advice at the hospital. I'm a big dog lover. I'm a big animal lover.
Okay. We just had
what
a
else
show
can
on
I
just a minute ago
say?
about canines.
I know, I
Yeah,
saw that, but there
yeah.
was no dog on there.
Yeah, well,
Right,
be
yeah.
careful because they will bring them. They do
Then
have
I'll
them.
have to come back because I love them. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm very into fostering animals.
Okay. And I saw when you was talking about your likes, I saw a glow on your face. Mm-hmm. I saw that. And you look real stern and serious, but I saw when you was talking about your child, you was talking about your dogs and all that good stuff. Like now, you just light up. So that's obvious you have a fondness there, a true fondness.
I do.
Okay, so do you mind if we
No,
go ahead and
go-
ask some
go
questions?
ahead.
Well, the way it works here is, this is a live interactive show. So folks have an opportunity to call in,
Okay.
and they'll probably inquire about some things that's on their mind, questions they may have in relationship to. We're going to be talking about wills tonight. We're going to be talking about estate planning. We're going to be talking about power of attorney. We're going to talk about what happens if you have none of these advanced directives. Actually, let me cut through the chase because I'm trying to learn some stuff tonight. What are advanced directives?
Well, advanced directives are directives that you can give while you're alive and while you still have mental capacity and you can
Okay.
still make all your decisions, and you direct people, could be your family members, your next of kin, whoever you decide you want to direct. You can give these directives now so that when you're no longer able to make decisions for yourself about your health care, your treatment, that person, your agent, is going to step up and make those decisions for you.
Okay, so now the directives is important, right?
Yes.
So, and you're saying it's important while you are alive, so that you make these directives or make these decisions, and you put these decisions in writing.
Yes.
So
And it's not just while you're alive. It's while you're alive and competent, mentally competent to make those
That makes the
decisions.
difference.
So it's important to do it while you're still able to make the advanced directives.
sound mind.
Yes, of sound mind.
Right.
Competent.
Right.
Yes.
So because sometimes I'm gonna just venture down here. Sometimes folks may not have these advanced directives,
Oh,
or
yes.
they may be incapacitated
And they can't do them.
and can't do them.
Cannot do them.
So then, what happens then?
Well, what you're asking there is, what do we do if we don't have an advanced directive?
Absolutely.
And that's a really important question, because if you don't have an advanced directive,
Right.
you don't have a power of attorney, you don't have a living will, you don't have a will, the state will make all your decisions for you. They
Whoa.
will all be made as a matter of law instead of the way you want to have them made.
Whoa. So, now explain that to me. So you're saying if you don't have any of these advanced directives, before the state just lets you,
The state will decide for you,
okay,
as a matter of law, how your property is going to be distributed and how your medical decisions will be made. Because we do have laws on how medical decisions can be made in the absence of an advancce directive.
so
But
So
it may not be what you want.
Absolutely, that's why I was going. I was trying to get the right
May
word.
not be what you
I was
want.
trying to get the right words out. Normally, folks who love each other, they are there with their loved ones and making sure that they're getting proper care.
Yes.
So if there's no directive, no directory, advanced
yes.
directives, it don't care how much you love them. The
That's
state is
right.
going to take over.
That's
it.
right. And I'll tell you what else. In my experience now doing this over 25 years, you may think that people will just say, well, my husband is the best person for me to make decisions, or my mother, or my sister, whoever it is. You may
Right.
think that about a person, but when it comes down to it, that's really not the person that they want to have making those decisions. They want to pick the person who's going to do what they know, they trust they will really do for them.
Okay.
And that's what the Advanced Directive Power of Attorney for Healthcare allows you to do. You get to choose the person who, in your place, is going to make those decisions for you.
I really, really wanted to sit to talk with you, Melinda, because I think it's so important, and I think so many people today, without these directives, I mean, I see it all the time. I'm a minister.
I'm sure you do.
I see it all the
Yes.
time, all right? And I see how they act without them. And I mean, it's the most vulnerable time, and it's the most heartbreaking time that they can experience.
Right.
But there's no directives.
Right. And I
It's
know
a-
it's not an uplifting topic and people don't like to have to think about it, but the truth is, if you have one, it empowers you to have those decisions made the way you want them, and it makes it
Absolutely.
easier
You
for
keep
your
saying
family.
that. You keep saying that, and I think I need you to repeat that. You just made the statement, and audience, we want you to know this. We're not trying to spook you or nothing. We're just saying use your wisdom. And Melinda is basically saying, if you want something and you want something a certain way, particularly, put it in the directive, put it in the will,
directive.
put it in the.
Put it in your advance directive, put it in your power of attorney for healthcare. But not only does it allow for you to have things done a certain way, it makes it easier for your family because there it is.
Yeah, they can
They
just
have the
follow.
roadmap that they're
Right.
supposed to follow. They don't need to think about who's supposed to do what and are they doing the right thing. You've already told them up front that this is what you want to have done.
So that's wisdom.
That's wisdom.
So we got a caller, and so the way we do it is when we get a call, we allow the callers to call in
Okay.
with what questions they may have. Thank you so much, caller, for calling in. We have Melinda here, the Chief Legal Officer for the Loretta Hospital, and thank you. What is your comment or question, please?
I have a question. My question to Miss Melinda is, okay, I'm listening to you speak about the advance directive, but my question is it the same if you just, I know that there are places where you can buy a book saying that it's a will, about your will. Is that the same thing as having an advance directive, or do you need to pay for an attorney to make your will out for it to be legal?
Okay, that's a very good question.
Thank you for that question.
Good question.
And you
Well,
can just run with that.
First of all, the federal law is if you go into a hospital, if you're admitted into a hospital, the hospital will ask you if you have an advance directive. The hospital is not required to help you fill it out, but the hospital will say, do you have an advance directive? And if you say no, they will give you one. So for example, we have an example of a booklet right here that we use
can lay it back down there and we'll put
at
it on
the
the
Loretto
overhead, yeah.
Hospital. This is the one we used.
Yeah, we'll put it on the
But this
overhead.
booklet contains a living will and a power of attorney for healthcare. So you would receive this, and it's very easy to fill this out by yourself. You do not need to have an attorney help you with that. So you will have it witnessed by someone, but all the instructions are in here. It's very easy to follow. This is not the same as a will. A will is something that would be done usually by an attorney, a family practice attorney, or an estate planning attorney will help you do a will, but that's going to tell you what to do with your property after you are deceased.
Well, with someone honor, let's just say you have sound mind, and you're my mom, my wife, or what have you, and we sat down, and you wrote out exactly how you wanted stuff to go. You wanted this to go there, you wanted this to go there, you wanted all your properties to go wherever you wanted them to go. And you signed your name, I witnessed it in front of a notary republic. Is that a will?
Not in Illinois.
It's not.
That would not meet the criteria for an enforceable will in Illinois regarding your property. But let's keep in mind, the will that you're talking about there is for distribution of your property after you die.
Okay.
An advance directive regarding your health care is to help people provide treatment for you while you're still alive.
So let's go there. Let's go there. What is a power of attorney?
So a power of attorney for health care is a document that says if you are unable to make your decisions,
Right.
it designates who is going to make those healthcare decisions for you.
Okay.
And then the healthcare team looks to that person, just like that person is you, for consent to take care of you.
And so they have to be, explain how the power of attorney works.
Well,
How-
let's say you wanted to have one,
Right.
okay, and you decided that your friend who is over 18 is going to be your agent.
Right.
You would fill out the form, put that person down as your your designated agent. That person would sign, you would sign it, the signature would be witnessed, and you would hopefully give a copy of that to your doctor. So
Okay.
it would be in your file.
Got it.
And then when you go into the hospital, or you're getting medical treatment wherever, that form will follow you. And
So it's certain language in the form.
yes, the language is by law, it's statutory in
Okay.
nature.
So when you say by law statutory, you just can't use any kind of language
Correct.
on a power of attorney. It
Right.
has to be
It's
the law.
lifted right out of the law.
Okay, okay, that's good.
Yes.
So what's the difference then between a living will and a will?
Okay, again, a will goes into play after you are deceased.
Okay,
Okay,
so
and
a
it's
will
is for when
is
you're
only
gone.
good when you pass away.
When you pass away.
Okay.
Yes. But a living will is for treatment, medical treatment when you are alive
Got it.
and can't make your own decisions. And the
Got it.
living will is between you and your physician. It only applies when you have a terminal illness and the physician is deciding that keeping you going is not it's just futile care. But that's really different than a power of attorney for healthcare. Personally, I think a power of attorney for healthcare is the best document that you can have because it's the broadest and it allows you to pick and choose the degree of how much treatment you want to have. It's all laid out in there. And if you change your mind and you don't want to have that agent anymore or you don't want to have that power of attorney anymore, you just rip it up. And you
Okay.
can start all over again.
So thank you for that. Now, we talked specifically, if I'm not mistaken, about power of attorney, oh no, forgive me, advanced directives, power of attorney, living will, a will, and other stuff, correct?
Yep.
So talk to me about, because I was talking to someone about this, about estate planning.
Estate planning.
Yeah.
Estate planning it's an area of the law. It's a specialty in the law. There are attorneys who concentrate in this, where they sit down with you and they say, let's look forward to your life in the future and how we're going to plan for your money, your property, taking care of the people you leave behind, taxes. And part of that could be an advance directive.
Got it. So all of that comes under the heading of advanced directives.
Its bigger heading is estate planning, and under there could be advanced
Got it.
directives, yes.
So the subject
It's planning for the end.
Okay, so the subject is estate planning, but it's under,
Estate planning is the umbrella, and under estate planning would be your will,
got it,
your trust,
Got it.
your advance directives,
got it. But listen, it look like we have another caller,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Please, caller, thank you so much for calling. We got Melinda with us, the Chief Legal Officer for the Loretta Hospital, the not-for-profit organization, social service hospital in West Garfield, in the Austin community, on the west side of Chicago. She's live, she's in person, and she's feeling it. Give us your question, please.
Okay, my question is, how much is it to get a legal attorney to do a will?
We apologize, we can barely hear you. Is there any way you can speak up or something, please?
Okay, my question is, how much is it to get a legal attorney for a will? And is that something that Miss Melinda does? And
I think I heard something about, did I hear something like you said, how much should you give an attorney for a will or something?
How much does it cost to get an attorney for a will?
Got it.
Oh, okay.
Is that
How
something
much
that
would it
Melinda
cost to retain an attorney to perform a will?
It depends on how extensive the will is. So a simple will, say you're going to have one will, maybe your spouse is going to have the same will. Those are called mirrored wills. You have the same thing. It's just back and forth to each other. Attorneys, of course, vary in cost, but I've seen as low as $250 for a will.
Okay, and complete.
Yes.
So that means do your homework, because
Yes.
it's not real tedious work. And what I heard, I think I heard you say, read. Get your
Yes,
knowledge.
yes.
Understand what these are. Do your work, do your homework, get in touch with some people, let people know what your intentions are, and then make an informed decision.
And when you do your will or you do your estate planning with your attorney, they will likely show you the advance directives and fill them out for you.
So-
Help you fill them out.
So tell me, tell me about what else is going on at the Loretta Hospital from a legal perspective.
Okay.
I mean, we heard so many things about Loretta Hospital. I'm telling you, they're on fire. They're doing good work in the neighborhood. Obviously, you're there doing good work. But go
Well,
ahead.
I know you had Mr. George Miller on, so
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure
he was
you
fired
heard a
up,
lot.
among others,
Yes,
among other folks.
There is a lot going on at the Loretto Hospital, a lot going on. The hospital is really reaching out to the community. I know you've been there, and we have some new facilities now. We have a new infusion center.
Yeah,
that
and it's
just was-
gorgeous
it's
too. I
gorgeous,
mean, that
it's just
place is
built.
something else. That means cancer center, right?
Well, infusion, it doesn't have to be cancer.
But what else does they do in that thing?
It can be more than chemotherapy. It
Got
can be
it.
anything that's IV infused.
IV,
So
IV,
yes,
that's
but
right.
it's a very nice, beautiful center.
Relaxed.
And I need to put
environment.
a plug in for, just from the legal perspective, which is my area, we do have a medical legal partnership at the Loretto Hospital, which means that if you're a patient and you come in and you're sick and maybe what you have wrong with you is related to something going on in your housing. So let's say you have asthma, but your landlord won't fix whatever needs to be fixed, and it's just exacerbating your asthma and making it worse. We have a program, it's called a legal partnership, with a Lawyers Committee for Better Housing, where we will connect you to legal representation on that issue that you have for no cost. You don't pay for the attorneys, and they can go to court for you or battle whatever it is you need to, the fight you need to fight to get your housing better so that your health outcome is better. And we're
So
very
if
proud
this
of
only
this.
applies to housing?
Applies to, it's for illnesses and health conditions related back to housing. So it could be ADA, disability issues, it could be what's in the environment, it could be bed bugs, lead, all kinds of different things related to housing. We've had
Okay.
very good success stories with this.
And
it's
what's that called?
That's called a medical legal partnership.
The
If
Medical
you're-
Legal Partnership.
Yes, MLP. And if you're a patient of Loretto, you're
MLP.
entitled to be in that if you have the issues.
Listen, so we're talking to, of course, Melinda here, and Melinda's giving us so much information. And I'm trying to tell you right now, you would be so far lost if you don't take advantage of some of this information. I am eating it up. What are the advantages and of a will, and what are the disadvantages of a will? What are the advantages of estate planning, and what's the disadvantages? What are the advantages to a power of attorney and disadvantages?
Okay.
Can I
Well,
put that
yes,
out there like that?
You can put it out there because that's a good question. But the advantage of having all of those is that you're prepared and you maintain control over your property and your medical treatment. If you don't have those, like I said, the state will do it, and they will decide who's going to make your decisions. So if you die without a will, you go into probate for your property. If you don't have an advance directive for health care, the state will say who's going to make your decisions. I've actually had cases where there was no power of attorney, and the person who couldn't make their decisions had to have their decisions made by, say, their spouse. And the spouse did not agree with the way that person would have wanted his decisions to be made. Now, they're not supposed to do that, but the state decides the order of who gets to make decisions and step up for when there's no power of attorney.
So I have to reiterate, use wisdom.
Yes,
Make your mind up while you're still mentally capable.
yes,
Get your stuff in order
and have peace of mind.
and have peace of mind. So I really appreciate all the wisdom that you shared tonight. I mean, just sit here listening, put a lot on one's mind, because it's telling folks now to be more preempted, or should I say preventive? Get yourself together.
Proactive.
Proactive, that's the word.
Proactive,
Thank you,
right,
thank you.
yes,
Proactive.
proactive.
Thank you, that's the right word I was looking for. And so we're saying to you guys, those who are watching the show tonight, listen, this show was specific. We're educating our young people so that when they talk with their parents and let their parents know, hey, mom, hey, dad, have you ever heard of a will? Have you ever heard of estate planning? Have you ever heard of power of attorney? Have you ever heard of all of this stuff? So we're teaching the young people these valuable words. So that when they go back and talk to their own family members, they can go back and talk to their family members about some things that we need to have in place, advanced directives, so that they don't get caught up. And so they can make some logical decisions about what
So
they're
they
doing.
know.
So they know. So any closing comments? Thank you so much.
No, I think you covered it all. The main thing is to let everybody know what your thoughts are and share with your family so they're not left wondering what your decisions would be.
Well, you heard it here first, and we want to thank the West Garfield Park Youth Council for what all they do. Thank you, Melinda, for
Thank
being
you.
such a wrap-up, such a nice person. We'll see you all later next week. The young people will be on doing their thing. I just thank them for an opportunity to come out and hang with you all. So good night, keep the
Night.
faith, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much.
you.